that on paper, he's the best bodybuilder in the UK. No denying it. That being said, me 100% versus Nathan 100%, I absolutely destroy him. And I think he knows that. There were times when Kevin Lavroni was way off. There was times that Lee Priest came in a fat. It just happened. The focus is being the best bodybuilder that I can be, and hopefully that will earn me a Sandoe.
What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video. And today is part 2 of my 2-part interview with Luke Sandoe, the 3rd place finisher in the 2019 Arnold Classic. And we go into a whole range of topics, but if you haven't listened to part 1, make sure you do that. There's a card at the top of the screen right now, or there is a link in the description of this video. Make sure you listen to part 1 before part 2. Highly suggest it. Anyway, in this one, he discusses his rivalry with Nathan D'Asha and who's UK's best bodybuilder out of those two. Also, the 90s era versus today, which is better, and a whole range of other topics, including his aspirations to become Mr. Olympia one day. Anyway, if you guys like these videos, make sure you give me a thumbs up and smash that like button. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell button. And that's especially important too, because I have another interview coming up with Luke Sandoe in the coming days as well that you guys will find awesome. I think it's actually probably my best or one of my best videos ever. So make sure you do subscribe and hit the notification bell button. Anyway, guys, really hope you enjoy this video. Yeah. So which comps were you going to do this year? And I suppose, what is this year looking like for you now? Is 2020 over for you?
Yeah. No. So I was 6 weeks out from the British Grand Prix, which was supposed to be on May 3rd. So obviously that's not happening now because that'll be in like 2 weeks, which is very frustrating. But it is what it is. And then my goal was to win that show and then do the Olympia. And then I wouldn't be too tired for the Olympia. I was too tired. I hate saying it. I wouldn't be. So I would still be nice and fresh for the Olympia, because I could afford a little break after this show and then just do the Olympia. And last year shows me that I can do 2 shows comfortably. Like they say, I could have done the Arnold in Tampa just fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I did. So I know. So that's doable. But now, so I haven't trained for nearly a month, because obviously the lockdown and all the gyms are closed. So I finally bit the bullet and ordered a gym equipment that should be coming tomorrow. So I've got a whole gym going in the garage basically.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Everything I need to, so that can tie me over, and so I can train for the next kind of month. In all fairness, I haven't really shrunk.
That's good.
I look. You know when you start a prep and you're quite lean.
Yep.
And you get about 4 weeks in and you're starting to get leaner, but you're a little bit flat. But you're not,
yep.
You know, that's how I'm looking like now. So I don't look bad at all. So
yeah.
I could probably fill back out, get a bit tighter within the next 4 weeks and be within striking distance of, say, 8 weeks out from any show I pick. So when the calendar becomes clear, I'll be ready to kind of focus on something. And fingers crossed the gyms may be open then, because I would imagine mid-June, July is when, so I would say June is when the gym's going to be open again here. Yeah. And June will be about between 8 and 12 weeks out from what shows are on the calendar currently.
Yeah, for sure. And are you scared that if you do compete, just say the British Grand Prix gets delayed and then you're, okay, I'm going to nail that show, you win it, and then you're not allowed to either travel to the US or the Olympia's called off or anything like that? Are you worried about that?
It would suck a lot, but then I look at it like this. Prize money, some prize money. So
always good.
It is my job for the day, so that's good. Also, I've got all the photos from the show. And the British Grand Prix, if they're doing it in the same venue, they have been doing their shows at. The lighting's amazing. Yeah. So if I look good, the pictures will be good. And also it's a way of not staying relevant, but it's also like another thing in your portfolio. So you get a new set of pictures, you get a whole new thing to talk about for a while. It's it's almost like you get a content bundle from doing a show.
Yeah. You
get to dine out on it for a while, especially if the pictures are good. You get like video clips. You see people who look good at a show, and for about a month afterwards, somebody will send them a phone video, and they'll post it again. And I love that. I love seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
And I also think one of the main reasons about doing picking shows, I always like the pictures you get afterwards, because that's what you remember.
Yeah, for sure.
The Arnold's over now when I did that, but the pictures will be forever, and that's what's important.
Yeah, definitely. So also what you're trying to get going forward is your first pro win, which actually is sort of funny because I hear, oh, Luke hasn't got any pro wins, and I'm like, oh, you actually haven't. And Nathan Diash has been one man to bring that up quite a few times because he's got 6, you've got none.
Oh, he loves it, and he's absolutely right. And I have nothing to say to that. I'm like, he's got me. He's fucking got me. Because it's true. That being said, me 100% versus Nathan 100%, I absolutely destroy him, and I think he knows that. So that's just my personal opinion. I love his physique. I think he's great. And I think he's a cool guy. He's funny. And I love the kind of banter we have between us. But yeah, he's got 6 pro wins. There's no denying that. On paper, he's the best bodybuilder in the UK. No denying it. But yeah, I do need that pro win. But it's not. It's very strange. My career's done this thing where it's kind of I've done this like weird leapfrog.
Yeah.
Somehow I've like leapfrogged. I'm just kind of like. It's almost like all the top guys are there, and I've kind of shimmied my way in, and I'm like, I'm part of the team now. Hi guys, I'm staying. I'm here to stay. And I've like blagged my way in, and now people forget that I haven't even won a show because I'm talked about within that top 10 guy like list.
Yeah.
Because of the Arnold. But I think for me now, I think. Based on what I did at the Arnold, and based on what this last prep was doing, and what Chris and I were seeing, I don't think it's silly to think that I could win the Arnold Classic.
Not at all.
So, but it sounds ridiculous because I haven't actually won a pro show yet. But there's so many that I could have won, based on who I've beaten and what's happened that last year and things. And it's like I've just been terrible at picking shows.
Yeah,
terrible because the lineups because they're like Arnold's or Olympias. Or I've battered myself to get there.
Well, the Indy Pro that you did last year, that was a very good lineup. Then you also did Tampa, where you got, like I said, the most winningest pro of all time. And then at the Arnold's, obviously you did very, very well, but you did have the top 2 from that year's Olympia coming up in there as well. So you have had a sort of rough run, and you haven't competed in near as many shows as well. You've only done 5 last year. And then obviously 2 of them were Arnold's and 1 was in Olympia. So yeah,
so I always look at the people that I've beaten. And I think, well, I should have. I've beaten so many like top Olympians, and I've beaten people that have won numerous shows. Like I've beaten guys that have won like 4 or 5 shows, and I've beaten them 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I'm not sitting here saying I'm amazing, but it's just a lot of it is I'm terrible at picking shows as well. I'm terrible when it comes to the timing and the travel, or I pick the ones that are too hard. That kind of without my reach. So, I mean, I do want to get that pro win. I mean, in an ideal world, I would love to be able to be good enough to win a pro show, do the Olympia, get, say, that top 5 or 6 at the Olympia, and then just do that next few years. Be that good. That would be the dream. So I'm hoping I can work my way up to that level in the next kind of year or so.
For sure. And obviously with your success, with competing and everything from last year going forward, now you're sponsored by Redcon One. It seems like you've got obviously a good deal with them, and Fuad on your podcast, Bodybuilding Bollocks, likes to remind everyone you're sitting on a good deal there pretty much. But how much has that changed your life?
He is joking, and it's good, but he is joking. Because it was like, because some of the other offers I had before were so bad. That's why that kind of like, I'm bawling. That's why that joke comes from.
Yeah. So how much has it changed your life, though? Obviously going from probably getting very little in terms of sponsorship to actually having, solid sponsors and being able to actually free up your life at least a little bit.
It's been amazing. I feel quite frustrated that I haven't had a chance to really go for it yet, because this year was the first year where I was going to be solely, I only do bodybuilding now. This is it. And I was off to a great start. I was obviously at the Arnold, did the commentary. I was there with Redcon. That was amazing. Spent a week in Florida. We got loads of content. Everything was looking good. Training was great. And then this happened. And it kind of... And I'm still kind of... I feel guilty because I'm not doing my job as much as I should be able to do. But then again, I can't be doing that because it's not out of my control. But I just want to get back to that point where I was... So because I can't really answer your question. It's changed my life in an incredible way, but I haven't experienced enough of it yet because this happened in a way.
Yeah, sure.
But it was. I mean, I can't. I wake up every day. I'm like, how has this happened? I've said this on the podcast before. I feel like I'm an imposter. Not only have I not won a show and blagged my way into that kind of top list of pros that people mention somehow. I don't even know if I am there or not, but people keep telling me I am. And it's like, I'm also with Redcon. I do this for a living now. I just feel I feel like I've cheated my way up the table a little bit. In a way, does that make sense? It's like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, and then people. I mean, a lot of people say, "No, you deserve this," and I'm like, I don't know if I do. But it's, I'm so grateful for it, and I love. Like, I mean, even you inviting me on this podcast, it's phenomenal. Like, if I didn't do what I do, you would never in a million years care or want me on here. So I love doing this kind of stuff, and I think it's just I think I'm so grateful that I'm almost scared to lose it in a way.
For sure, definitely, that's understandable. Now, coming up, obviously, this year, if you're able to compete and everything goes well, you've got the Olympia, and then you've got Athleticon, which I think is called the Icon Champions, World Champions, or something like that show.
Yeah,
is that something you've looked at or inquired about or anything?
Yeah, well, have you seen the what you have to do to even apply?
Is it you have to win a pro comp or place top 5 in an Arnold or something like that?
No, you have to be current or past Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Placed the Arnold in the top 3 this year.
Oh.
In the top 5 last year, or win a pro show in the 2020 season, and that's to even be eligible to apply.
Oh wow!
So if I won a pro show, I can apply, and I may or may not get it because I'd imagine they would want somebody from the UK here. And obviously Nathan's had troubles getting to the United States, so I think he kind of wouldn't be eligible just for that reason.
Yep.
The visa issues. I mean, unless it gets sorted, but I think they would like somebody from the UK, so maybe I'd be eligible for it. But if I got the opportunity, I'd love to do that show.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, if you win a pro comp, then yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't invite you, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
So that'd be great.
It would be amazing, but I'd have to really think about it because now, you know how I said about I get overexcited and like, so I was like, when I got the Arnold invite, I said to Tony, yeah, I'll do Australia. I shouldn't have done it. I should have just done the Arnold and maybe just done Indy. And it's like I need to stop getting so overexcited.
Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. Like, literally, like, I got second to pretty much to winning my pro card last year. I was like, I'm going to compete again straight away and win it. Yeah. And then I realised that's not good. My body was tired.
Because I feel like I could have. It could have gone this way. I could have done the Arnold, come home, stayed at home for a month, gone back to the States, and I've been as good or slightly better than the Arnold. I could have won that show.
Yeah.
And then I could have placed, and then because I would have had some rest, and then I would have looked much better at the Olympia, and I could have placed how people wanted me to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing I've learned. That's always a thing to learn. I've learned that from last year. It's just not like chasing that carrot all the time.
Is that something you do in general as well? Like you say yes to everyone, and then go, yeah, maybe shouldn't have said yes to that person.
Yeah, yes and no, but mostly yes. but I like to, if I'm not busy, I don't like that. I like to constantly be doing something, and I enjoy it as well. And it's like it's all. I think it's good for everything as well. It's not many bodybuilders do this. Not many. I don't know why. Maybe they just don't want to, which is fine. And I've given this opportunity, and I enjoy doing it. It's good for Redcon. It's good for me. I guess it might be good for you because you might guess. I don't know. I mean, on your channel, that's phenomenal. It doesn't need me, but it might. I don't know. I guess it might help everyone. I think more. I kind of want more bodybuilders to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
More
Same.
I want to do this kind of stuff because I think what makes it interesting is It's like in UFC. A lot of the time, it's not just your favorite fighter; it's your favorite person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly. I mean, it's like, I mean, a lot of the time, my favorite bodybuilders, it isn't because of their physique; it's because of who they are as people.
Yeah.
And I think if a lot of these bodybuilders came out and started doing more things like this, which is a good thing to do, I think they'd start maybe developing more of a fan base, maybe becoming more of a worth and more valuable to a company, and they would start actually getting the sport more interesting again because you actually start rooting for the athletes, not just the physiques, the people. And I think. Again, that's why I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, and I really enjoy the fact that Redcon make me do a lot of video stuff. So
yeah, for sure. Now, a perfect example of that is Jay Cutler. I mean, he's been my favourite bodybuilder the whole time.
Exactly.
I didn't know. Like, I actually look at him now, and I look back at his physique, and I go, "Am I really a fan of your physique, or is it your personality?" Because I'm not sure. Because I sort of like both, but I'm like, but he's just by far my favourite. Exactly.
So I've always, the two that I've always. I mean, the main person I always look at is Dorian.
Yeah.
Now, if I could be like Dorian, I would be like Dorian. But we live in 2020 where you can't be like Dorian.
No.
I can't just disappear and no one sees me for a year. Love it. I can't. But I also look at Jay as like the businessman of bodybuilding. It's like, it's not really about money for me. I've always been much of the belief that if I work enough for what I love, the money will just come, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So it's like I don't care about earning money. It's like as long as I pay for my kids, I pay for my house, and I'm good. But that's fine. I do this because I think I just like doing it, and I got a lot of that from Jay Cutler because he just does everything and he works a lot. So I kind of think they are probably my top two actually favorites of all time. But I get inspiration from both of them, and I just wish a lot more bodybuilders would kind of do what Jay did because it makes things really interesting. Because even when we look back at our careers, we can look back at Jay's career and we can see so much of it. But you look back at a lot of these other guys' career, because they didn't do anything, we can't see anything. We can only see the odd picture here and there, maybe a couple of interviews, not much.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that really lasts. And that's why Jay Cutler's still relevant today, because you can still go back and watch him training legs from 1999.
Yeah. And another thing as well, part of the reason why I think you've been successful, why Jay's been successful, why a lot of these top people have been successful is because they offer so much for free, whether it's, whether you think it's valuable to someone else or not. Yeah. You're doing a podcast with Fuad, you're putting out heaps of content through your own YouTube, you're putting out stuff through Redcon, you're doing interviews like this. And the guys that are being successful in the industry are the guys that tend to say yes straight away. Like I messaged you while you was asleep, probably 3, 4 a.m. your time, and you woke up and said, hey, it's 8 a.m. here, mate. Like, yeah, when do you want to do it? I'm just like, sweet, that was easy, And other guys, I've had to hassle. I show up and go, cool, ready to go, and then I don't hear anything for a day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever.
I think it's just because, it's free. It is free, but it's also valuable.
Yeah,
it's very valuable because it's like if I do this on your channel, it's gonna get lots of hits. I'm wearing a Redcon 1 t-shirt,
Yeah.
In a way, it's good for everything. Like I said, it's kind of. And it's not even smart. Like people say, "Oh, you're so smart for that." It's like, no, well, not really. I just say yes and wear a t-shirt. That's it. But it's not that difficult. And a lot of people say, "Oh, there's no contracts anymore. There's you can't make a living in bodybuilding anymore." Well, you can. I'm telling you can.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
just not able to do it, and it's not that difficult either. And it's not even really work. I'm just sat here having a chat.
Yeah,
and this
exactly.
I'm sat in my house in front of my real wall, having a chat.
I've noticed you've been leaning back on it and hitting it. And I'm like,
I always do it and make it flap, and it blows people's minds. They're like, he's in the Matrix or something. There's something going on with his wall.
And I've got to say, like what you and Fuad do with bodybuilding and bollocks, and what he does with a lot of his other stuff as well, was phenomenal. Yeah. But did you set out with that podcast for it to be like so off topic with a bit of bodybuilding in there?
No, he had me on as a guest. Like, Fuad and I have been friends for a couple of years, and he just had me on as a guest, and it did really well. And people kept DMing him and said, "You guys should do a show together." And we did 2 with no name, and they got like way more hits than we expected.
Yeah.
And we just kept doing it. And we were thinking, should we have some kind of formula to this show? And we don't, and we never did, and it just worked. So we don't bother with it now.
Yeah, you just do it.
Well, we've got some cool things that we had Craig Elias on the last one. We also had a listener come on for like a couple of minutes. That kind of stuff I think we're going to start doing more of because Freud likes interacting with people.
Yep.
Again, that's another thing it's weird how like that podcast has just gone. It's just huge.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that either. I think it just feeds my imposter syndrome. How is it that popular? It's just gone from. Because I've tried to listen to it. I'm like, I don't know how people listen to this.
It's because you've already heard it.
I think that is it. And because it's me saying it, I'm like, you dick. Why did you say that? Because I always mostly see the clips he posts on Instagram. And sometimes I don't even share the clips because I'm like, I can't believe I said that. But it's fun. And people like it, so it's good. No, it's free. But it does serve some value. But I think it's... Again, like when I'm an old man, I can look back at my career and all the videos I've done, all the content, everything I've done is going to still hopefully be there to look back on.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool.
Now, I wanted to go full Patrick Bet David on you. I was going to literally print out 6 bodybuilders from the 90s, hold them up and go, how would these guys do in your era? Right. But I literally just didn't have the time. So let's talk about the 90s versus today, because that's been a topic. I mean, I'm sort of sick of talking about it, to be honest, but people still seem to be interested in which era is better, which era would win. We saw the whole thing with Dexter Jackson versus Sean Ray just recently, and Dexter went pretty hard if you saw that video. But he's saying he would smoke him. So what do you think about the whole 90s versus today and Dexter versus Sean?
Well, the Dexter versus Sean thing, I haven't watched any of it because I honestly couldn't care less. I'm saying, you just bicker on, old man.
If you want to laugh, seriously, listen to the Dexter one. Like,
I love Dexter. Oh no, I did watch some of Dexter because before I had it on the show. No, Dexter's one. I love Dexter. Dexter's just funny. I watch his stories. Never know what the fuck he's talking about, but he's so funny.
Yeah.
But the so what is it? The Sean and the 90s. So 90s versus today. Do you know what it is? Everyone compares the top 6 Olympia of that era to everyone today.
Yeah.
You know? To everyone. They'll compare like somebody who's won like the Lisbon Pro to Kevin Levrone.
Yeah.
It's like if you go back to the 2090s, look at the pro qualifiers, not the pro qualifiers, the pro shows, just the average IFBB pro shows then. You will see shit condition and shittier physiques, I promise you.
Yeah.
But everyone just remembers the best bits because only the best bits have been documented.
Yeah. And another thing that I think... Sorry.
I think... So I kind of think... I love that era because, again, I've seen all the... And it's nostalgic. But I don't think... I think a lot of the guys today wouldn't... That look might not translate today. If it's a difference in what you prefer, that's fine. But to say which is better... I don't think you can say that because it's just different.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And another thing that I just wanted to side with, I suppose, today's era a little bit is that everyone goes, look at that Olympia lineup from 1996, and they go, look, this guy was down in 10th. And it's like, it will be a guy that, you know, later in his career was finishing 2nd, 3rd, 4th. It would be a Chris Cormier or something like that. You know, he finished in 10th. How good must have that Olympia have been? And it's like, well, not everyone was on, and some of them it was their first year at the Olympia, and so they sort of just think of them at their best in one lineup. Where today's Olympia, or just say last year's Olympia that you did and came 11th, people go, Luke Sandoe was in 11th. That must have been the most insane Olympia ever because you went on to win the Olympia, place top 3 or whatever, you know.
But in real life, I was just an absolute mess. That's what. And it's like, I think a lot of the time history doesn't remember that stuff.
No.
And I always said, and I think Fuad and I said it on our show once, which led to us having to go on the Iron Debate on RX Muscle.
Yep. With
Lee Priest and Dave Palumbo. And all our point was, people in that era came in off, just like today in this era coming off. Not everyone was perfect. Everyone kind of thinks that era was perfect and everyone was perfect every time, and they weren't. There were times when Kevin Levrone was way off. There were times that Lee Priest came in a fat fuck. It just happened.
Yeah.
And that's not to take anything away from them, because I've done it. It still happens today, but that's just been a part of bodybuilding, and people just kind of give that era a pass because most of the pictures that exist are all of the best ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. So, Luke, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I just want to ask one more question. Now, your training today has gone, you've said, more from the high intensity of a Dorian Yates style, more to the Jay Cutler style where you're doing more volume. Is that because you're later in your career now in terms of you've built the muscle and now you're just trying to volumize it and maybe just work on a few weaknesses? Or do you recommend this to people that maybe have been training for a little bit less than you?
No, I think for me it's just the time has come to do that. I had an injury earlier in the year that I was quite lucky wasn't far worse. And again, it wasn't actually from lifting. Basically, just long story short, I was kicking some dumbbells that I've done multiple times. The bench wobbled, and I twisted off to the side, and I got basically a partial pec tear. So it wasn't me lifting too heavy, but that just kind of reminded me that you're a human being, not a machine. Not that I ever thought I was a machine, but it was more like, it was just a reminder that I need to calm down. I don't need to be lifting insanely heavy because I have all this muscle. And it's not like people are saying you need to be bigger. It's not. That's not what I'm being told. So I just thought, well, I need to improve what I have. And I can still lift heavy, but it's changed now. It is that whole refinement thing. I can still train heavy, and I'm still trying to put on muscle in certain areas, but that's not the goal now. Isn't for me to get stronger anymore. The goal for me now is to become a better bodybuilder.
Yep, Absolutely. Well, you've worked towards that very well over the past, 2 years, and what you've done, I suppose, in your short sort of career so far. So when do you when do you see like an out for you out of bodybuilding? Like, are you setting up things now business wise and go, okay, in 10 years I want to be done, or in 15 years I want to be done, or whatever?
I have a goal. I mean, I'm going to be with Redcon for the next 5 years. And in that time, my one goal that I've said with Aaron, the one thing we both want to achieve with me, is I want to win the Olympia. It sounds ridiculous, but I believe I have it in my capability to do it. So it's up to me. So I'm going to do everything I can. If given the opportunity, I'm going to do that. I just want to do what Eddie Hall did with Strongman. I'd like to win it once and just fuck off. That's what I'd like to do, just disappear. Not disappear, but just retire from competitive bodybuilding and do other things. But we'll see. I might become very competitive and want to do it again. Who knows? But if that were to play out, that's what I'd like to do. I think after that, I'd like to kind of do what Jay's been doing. Be more of like not an ambassador, but kind of like how Eddie is a strongman. He's kind of branched out into other things.
Yeah.
And that's something I've always wanted to do. It just happens I have an example now. He's actually done it, but from strongman, that's always been something I would have liked to have done after bodybuilding.
Yep. Do you think you'd want to travel as much as Jay? Because he travels like a lot, and a lot of it is obviously it helps his business, but he just goes to these expos and just shakes hands and does all that stuff.
No, I have zero issues. The only time I don't like traveling is when I'm in a contest prep. If I'm off season or I'm not a competitor, I'm absolutely fine with traveling. It's nice. Cool. It's not a problem at all. It's just annoying when you're a competitive bodybuilder. But if I'm not a competitive bodybuilder anymore, like I'm sure Jay enjoys it now, whereas it used to be a chore for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to own a gym or two as well. I mean, the gym, my hometown gym, which is about 2 hours away from here, is the one I'd like to one day buy that from the owner, do it up, and it's just be my gym and move back home and just retire and live by the sea.
Yeah.
and own a gym for and just, I don't know. It's I honestly don't know. I have things in the pipeline now, like obviously the YouTube channel's on hold, but that's going to be pushed massively again when the apocalypse is over. I've got a merch line coming out. I've got another merch line coming out with Redcon, as well as my own merch for YouTube, as well as that channel. I've got a couple of other like things outside of bodybuilding I might look at doing, but really the focus is being the best bodybuilder that I can be, and hopefully that will earn me a Sandoe.
Yep, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see it, man.
I don't want to take on too much now that could potentially distract from that.
Yeah.
So that's my job right now.
For sure.
And to document that on the things like this on YouTube, on the Instagram, through Redcon One, and kind of document it all the way up to when that happens.
Yeah, that's smart, man. And I've heard, like, I don't know if you follow Gary Vee or not, but he talks about that documenting. He said, just document your life, just document. And
well, that's what all this is. That's what all this is. Like, I was watching one of those Machiavelli motivation videos, and he put loads of stuff from my old house in there, from where I lived with my ex, and there's some of all the like different things on the walls in the house, which is partly why I won't post it. It's all extra to the walls, but it's like that's part of my life.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that that's been captured, and I was going to be captured from here, from now to then. And this show we're doing right now is part of it.
Yeah,
it's all part of like our lives. It's all part of everything. I think that's what's quite cool about these days. It's like this morning on my Facebook, a picture of my son came up from 3 years ago, and it's just like that's what I love, and that's what I think one of the positives about social media is these days.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I just want to keep doing what I'm doing and try and be the best I can. Hopefully it'll be good enough.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Luke, thank you so much for coming on Desktop Bodybuilding. I really appreciate it. Do you want to give a shout out to Redcon One and any other sponsors or anything like that?
Just Redcon One. Redcon One have been great. Obviously, Chris Cito has been great. Muscleworks Orpington have been a huge supporter, and obviously anyone in the UK listening to this and you are still trying to stay in shape. Muscleworks Orpington has a online food prep company where they actually cook it all in their catering facility on site. It's all weighed and measured. They're still doing a lot of my food, and that's life-food.co.uk, and they literally weigh and measure everything, which is good.
Makes life
so
much easier.
I'll give them a shout out as well, because they've been helping me so much, and the food's great.
Yeah.
And it's all about food, especially when you're bored. That's bad, isn't it? That's what's been bad for me, is snacking. That's why they're so good, because I've got the meals in the fridge. If I didn't, I'd be just a fat bastard right now.
Yeah, man, I've definitely been feeling it a bit. I've gone from comp prep to just like it's coming out, so I've definitely felt the difference there.
I've even cut my hair differently because my face is all puffy. So So yeah.
Sweet, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on Desktop Bodybuilding. I really appreciate it, bro. And thanks for being, so good in terms of communicating and stuff. So
Pleasure.
that's
Thank you.
Luke Sandoe, third place finisher at the 2019 Arnold Classic and maybe a future Mr. Olympia. Luke, thank you so much.
Thank you, man. See you soon.
So there's part 2 of my 2-part interview with Luke Sandoe. And as I mentioned as well at the start of this video, make sure you do firstly, give this video a thumbs up and like this video if you did enjoy that, but subscribe and hit the notification bell button because we do have another video coming up with Luke Sandoe as well. And it's a very interesting topic and he says a lot of stuff that you probably guys won't expect, I reckon. And it's like I said, it's one of the best, or if not the best video I've ever done for desktop bodybuilding. So you do want to subscribe, hit the notification bell button. Then you'll be notified of every video that goes up. For myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, and I appreciate all the love I've been getting from you guys lately as well. In the comments, letting me know what you think of, all these certain topics that are in the videos. I've been able to interact with a fair few of you guys as well, and it really has been awesome interacting with the desktoppers. So make sure you continue to comment, continue to show me love on social media, and I'll continue to share your stuff out there as well on your Instagram stories and all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. We are